let me tell you about my driving test. I dropped the bike. I dropped my bloody bike. Doing the U-turn. That's why I'm practicing it. Sometimes too slow. What I'm finding is strange compared to other people when I've been watching their videos. Other people's videos, if they're turning to the right, they're putting their weight on the left hand side, the counterbalance. Where for me to get that bike over, I've got to lean my body over. Now I've watched Brad do it. He's virtually upright on the bike. So this was the one. This was this was the part of the test I failed. I failed the test in lots of different areas, just little minor points. For example, changing my position, my lane position. I wasn't doing a head check or a real obvious head check for them. Apparently one of my left turns I swung out and then did a left. No, I can't even remember that. I'm thinking there must have been something there, but that lost me a point. You can only lose 3 points and you fail, I think. Or you can only have up to 3 points. So at one stage, I think I was in town. I think you've got to be a bit wary of riding in the middle lane for grease and oil. And then he took me out to a pretty narrow area like this, which is pretty much, I've stepped it out. It's about 5.3 metres, which is a pretty narrow U-turn for a test. Usually you'd expect at least 6 metres. So he took me out to an area I wasn't familiar with to do the U-turns. Same as this, had the gravel on the sides, so there was a bit of stress about even touching the sides. You didn't want to get that front tyre losing traction or anything. And what happened is I was going down the road, trying to follow his instructions, and then I couldn't see that point he told me that he wanted me to do the U-turn. I was in 4th gear, I started slowing down, looking for this point. I couldn't see it. I decided I'm just going to do the U-turn there. I was not in a good position. Pretty tight, and you have to get it right. You should be able to do a 5-metre U-turn, but in a test, under pressure, that's just a little bit for a beginner motorcyclist. Anyway, I was heading to the point where he asked me to turn. I wasn't in the correct position. I was a little bit flustered. I was going too fast. I slowed right down. I was too slow. I started my turn. Halfway through the turn, I knew I wasn't going to make it. I touched the brakes. And this is what I said, I don't know why I didn't put my foot down. But I didn't put my foot down and I dropped the bike. And I picked up the bike and he pretty much said, well, let's just go back now. And I didn't realise. I tried to get another go. He wouldn't let me have another go. And like I said to him, I was doing U-turns to perform the functions he wanted me to do. And then as soon as it was part of the test, I stuffed up. So this series is going to be for people like me, which is probably exactly the sort of videos I would have been looking for when I first got onto this bike. And we'll talk about the troubles I have with my U-turns and why I do them differently to everybody else. But I think that's it for me today.